What's up, everybody? Doomwake here. Welcome to another modern video on the channel. This is going to be sort of our little Vegas testing session as of the day of recording. I'm actually leaving for Vegas tomorrow. I still have a lot of stuff to go ahead and do. I got a lot of laundry to do, a lot of packing to do. So, but yeah, this is going to be our sort of little testing session. So this is the deck that I'm going to be playing in MTG Las Vegas, which is obviously modern. And deck that I've been, putting a ton of work into over the past couple of weeks, trying, numerous different things. I have a sideboard guide for this deck. Head over to the Discord, check it out. I'll drop a link in the description below. It's very, very detailed. It is available to Twitch subscribers, but I think it's about 16 pages, and there's tons and tons and tons of matchups, lots of extra information in there too. But I've spent a lot of time on this deck, and it's kind of funny how, I've spent a lot of time on, playing. I think I've played somewhere up close to 200 matches with this deck over the past couple of weeks, and this is where we ended up. It's just all 4-ofs. We've tried a couple of different 1-ofs and 2-ofs and stuff like that. But the reality is, when you're playing with Yorion, you kind of want to play a bunch of 4-ofs anyways, because you're diluting your deck by adding an extra 20 cards. But if you're either maxing out on numbers of previous cards or just adding more 4-ofs, you're not going to make your deck as as inconsistent as it normally would be at 80 cards. Plus, again, the whole, I've talked about this before, but the big reason I think that playing 80 cards is totally fine with this deck is you get to play an additional 4 Cascade cards. So the previous Teamer Crashing Footfalls decks only get to play Shardless and Outburst. We get to play 12 Cascade cards, so the ratio of Cascade spells to non-Cascade spells doesn't change at all. It actually gets a little bit better with 80 cards. As far as the flex cards are concerned, I've changed. I've previously had 2 Dead Gone and 2 Detention Sphere. I've decided to go with 4 copies of Dead Gone to make myself a little bit better against Ragavan on the play and on the draw, mostly on the draw. Having a 1-mana answer to Ragavan on the draw so you don't have to 2-for-1 yourself with Solitude or Fury can definitely be really helpful. But yeah, I've been super blown away by how good this deck has been. Really excited to be playing it in Vegas. Again, not really much has changed. It's just a lot of the cards that you've seen before, the 12 Cascade spells, Crashing Footfalls, the Furies, the Solitudes, the Omnaths, Borrowers, Force of Negations, Fire Ices. And the mana base hasn't really changed that much either. The one thing that I don't remember if we were doing this in the last video that I did in the sideboard is Core Firewalker. Now, granted, in the video, spoiler alert, I didn't really get to play against Burn. The idea against Burn, again, and this is in the sideboard guide, so be sure to check it out, is you actually cut your Crashing Footfalls for Core Firewalker against them. Now, you might think it's odd to play 3 of a card in my sideboard just for one exact matchup, and I really don't want to bring it in against much else. But the reality is that Burn is one of the more popular decks, especially in Paper Magic. And it's the one card that I've boarded in against Burn where I've just I don't know if I've lost. I think I've played against Burn 7 times with this configuration. I think I've only lost 1 of the post board. I'm 6-1 against Burn with the Firewalker, so it's been really, really good. And I think I'm comfortable enough in the other matchups where I'm willing to sacrifice 3 sideboard slots for Burn. So that is the deck list. I'm not going to spend too much time because this is going to be a long video. I tried cutting out as much as I could of the 2 control matchups that we played, but the matchups go really back and forth, and there's a lot of interesting things if you're new to the YoRhinos archetype, maybe new to this archetype as well, and you just want to learn about how to play against control. Definitely watch those matches because there's a lot of interesting decisions. I maybe take some unconventional lines. Hopefully I kind of go through my thoughts and, explain why I'm taking those lines, but it's a good watch, trust me. But let's get into some games. So again, this is going to be a little bit of Vegas testing. I don't know if I'm going to do a video tomorrow. I don't know if I'll have time to do one before I leave for Vegas, so this might be the last video before Vegas. So if I don't see you again, wish me luck in Vegas, but let's get into those games. I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. Trying the Dead Gun over the D-Sphere, I'm just off it. I've really missed Dead Gone, especially in the Monkey matchups, and I've ran into some issues with Detention Sphere versus Prismatic Ending, so I think I'm kind of off D-Sphere, but it's close. This hand's good. What am I putting back?
think it's either Borrower or Tef. What did they reveal? Borrower's kind of shit against most Lurrus decks. I think if I knew they were Hammer Time, I'd probably put back the Crashing Footfalls, but if they're a fair Lurrus deck, I want to keep the Footfalls. Yeah, can we just errata Karuga? They've already fucking errated everything else about the companions. You know what I mean? You just give the Hippo their fair shake. The Hippo never had a chance, chat. It's truly sad. It's truly sad. Yeah, F's in chat for the Hippo. F's in chat for the Hippo. Another monkey. Monkey. Think I think too much. Can even go Tef, bounce Plea next turn. God, bouncing Plea against Rakdos is so cracked. So cracked. I think I'm breaking down. No, F's blue green didn't need the help. That's fair. I'm sure at the time when they printed the Karuga, you know, that was during the domination of Uro and Oko, and I get that, but Ardent Plea is actually cracked. I told you, man. It is. It's insane. They can't kill it. I think I'm only going to attack with one Rhino. Well, actually, I can just play Tef first, right? See what they do. I think I'm down to only attack with one Rhino. I think if they kill a Rhino, I might not attack. That's why I'm doing this first. But I guess if they have a removal spell like a Terminate, they might just wait till their turn. Oh. or they could do that. Will they ever make a companion again? Probably not. I like how we're just sitting here thinking about what my opponent's going to do. And, yeah, they're just off it. Yeah, that works too. Got my all access to playing Modern for 2 weeks. What should I try out? You should try out these. You should try out this deck, Numenor. I mean, basically any deck that has, you know, outside of your normal price range. That's the best part about the God accounts. Wait, are the God accounts out? I didn't know they were out. Hold on. Are they out? Because we can play 80 card fancy Rhinos. Where's the information for the God accounts? Are they out? Let me see. Just want some basically the cost of ridiculous playing an MTGO. Well, Tugboat, that's what the rental services are for. And if you ever wanted to check out Mana Traders, I have a promo code, and I would highly recommend them. I've been using them for quite some time. Announcements. Hollow One Asmo versus Flameblade package. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just like for, you know, just going to Vegas, and I want it to be, I don't know. I don't have to moto, but just watch YouTube videos and, you know, when there's downtime. Because I got like a 2.5 hour layover, so want to kill some time there, and, you know. A couple things that I want it for. Wish that was a borrower. Okay, this Void Mirror is kind of awkward. Does make things a little awkward. I didn't know. I don't know. I feel like Spike didn't have Void Mirror now. Am I just misremembering that? I could have sworn that Spike didn't have Void Mirror. Can't remember. Foil Fawn? Jeez. The etched version, or? Roxa. Well, I can just endurance them, so I don't need to Solitude. Honestly, I'm just gonna discard Plea and try to beat them with Solitude, Endurance, and Omnath. Which, like, honestly should not be that difficult. Yeah, I don't even think it's that difficult. No need to Endurance quite yet, but... It does punt, but, like, at the same time, like, look at my hand. Like, none of these cards care about Void Mirror that much. Like, I'm just gonna play my cards, you know? It's like, Void Mirror is good, but... Alright, now I can't take anything. What is left for us when we've given up everything? Nice Inquisition, by the way. To bury your bust? Now we got Borrower too. But again, I'm just gonna cast my cards. Like, they're just gonna have to deal it. Like, every card, both of these are 2-for-1s. Like, every single one of the cards in my hand is a 2-for-1, so they have to slog through all of that shit. Which is, it's not even clear they can do that, you know? Sure. That's 2-for-1. We take those. Let's play this. Also a 2-for-1. Okay, your turn. Stag is such a beater against red-black. Yeah, I feel like, again, it's one of those things where you can stop the Cascade plan, but it's nearly impossible to stop the Cascade plan and also, like, be able to close out the game in a meaningful way before Omnath and Solitude and Yorion get turned online. And once you've gotten to this stage of the game, it's really hard for the deck to compete with the shit that you have. So... Trying to get all the old border cards I can for Team YoRhinos. Nice. Nice, nice. I wanted to buy... I kind of wish I didn't buy... you love to see it. I kind of wish I didn't buy the regular forces, because I wanted to try and potentially get OG ones. It'd be a shame if I couldn't beat this Void Mirror, huh? It'd be a damn shame. Be honest. I guess I should probably just play Tef here, right? I thought about playing Yorion. They have one card in their hand. I don't know. I'll just play Yorion. It's possible I'm supposed to wait on Yorion, but this might be kind of a spew. I probably should just play Tef here. Alright, well, nothing matters. Everyone like you. So, as I was saying, when you load up on Cascade Hate, you just lose to Yorion. Just saying. Turn 1 Footfall, turn 2 Ice. Alright, there's our token. Dope. Probably have to restart again. Keep this. What's the token? Yeah, so it's basically, the token grants you access to all of the... you get entry into one Eternal Weekend event, and it grants you access to 4 of every card on the server, on the client. Am I sequencing my lands? Blue, green, red, white. Let's go Breeding Pool first. Because I want to be able to play a basic mountain and cast ice. I don't know what it's missing. Some of the secret layer stuff. Actually, I think most of the secret layer stuff it's missing. Yeah, just cosmetics. Been a few weeks, I want to play Saga Ban out of fear for Rhino hate, but I think Rhinos is cleaner line, smaller margin of error thoughts. Well, I mean, I think if you're worried about the Rhino hate, again, playing like one of these versions that have a lot more of a robust plan B, that's kind of why I like these versions so much. Like they just attack you from so many different angles while also having that ridiculous pressure, you know? I think the reason I love these particular four color Rhinos decks so much is they have the right blend of like pressure early on, like you can turn on the jets when you absolutely have to, but it can also just play these like really long games with access to Yorion and all this stuff, and that's why I like them so much. Also, I'm taking too much damage here, but yeah, I think if you're worried about the Rhino hate stuff, just I'd recommend playing one of these four color versions: Kahira, Yorion, that kind of stuff. You got the Spell Pierce. They don't. Feels good, man. Toughest part about Teamer is an empty hand. Yeah, and like again, we tried. I tried to mitigate that a little bit with Season Pyromancer and Prismari Command and that kind of stuff, but the problem with Season Pyromancer and Prismari Command compared to like Solitude Fury is they don't really have two modes, right? Solitude and Fury allow you to play this long game while also giving you even more interaction in the first couple of turns so that you don't fall behind. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of, it's tough, Bun. It's really tough. I think the biggest reason to play 60 versus 80 is, again, if you expect a lot of linear matchups, like Burn, Belcher, Amulet, Hammer Time, because your sideboard cards are so important in those matchups, and it's a big difference between 60 and 80. I haven't, actually. Connor Ban, thank you for the 10 months. Appreciate you, buddy. But yeah, that's like the biggest difference between... I want to get an island. That's the biggest difference between 60 and 80 for me. I think if they don't have force, I'm just going to bounce the play. Alright, go. If they go to kill Tef, I might fight over it. I might not. We'll see what happens. My opponent's conceded from the game. Cool. Right, Yorion has much more game text. Like when you're casting it, its impacts in the battlefield, its stats. It's a much better card than Kahira. I agree with you. How's Yorion against Hammer? I mean, so there's two things that you want to think about the Hammer Time matchup. Obviously, in the post-board games, you're drawing Force of Vigor less often, which makes you a little bit less favored, but you also get to play with Solitude. I think the best possible version against Hammer Time is the last deck that we played, because it's playing 60 cards, which means it's drawing Force of Vigor just as often as the other 60-card versions, but it also gets to play Solitude and Fury. That's probably the best possible version you can play against Hammer Time specifically. This is kind of somewhere in the middle, you know? So they were Grixis with... I don't know. They had... What did they have? They had Serum Visions, Expressive Iteration, Basic Swamp, Fatal Push. I guess they're like Grixis Snapcaster Mage? I am now sold harder on Kahira. Yeah. Yeah, the four Dead Gods too, for sure. I'm gonna go 60, be better off a Teamer than Kahira. Teferi is just so broken. Teferi and Omnath are just disgusting. We were talking about this earlier. I think if you're playing Rhinos, I think you almost have to be playing with four colors, whether you're 60 or 80. Just like the addition of the you see in a lot of these games, like my opponents they're just loaded up on hate for Cascade, and then they just get buried by Omnath and all that kind of shit. And if I want disputes, I think I do. Actually, probably just cut more Dead Guns, right? Let's do this. Just notice you can move 15 cards and play 65 now. No, you can't do that. You should not be able to do that. If you submit a 60 card main deck and a 15 card sideboard, or like your sideboard can never contain more than 15 cards at any point. Like after you've submitted, you know what I mean? Okay, keep this, put back this. And then we'll just go Jeskai Triome into Sulphur Falls, into Forest. Seems fine. Ooh, not bad. Well, you can be less than 15 plate chat, but you can't be more than 15. You could do that, yes. Now, what competitive or strategical advantages does that give you? Probably not much, but you are allowed to do that, yes. Well, I mean, people frequently, like, if you submit a 60 card main deck and a 15 card sideboard, people frequently board up to more than 60 against mill. So that's like a strategical decision, but. I'm gonna ice the Catacombs for discard spell purposes, even though I don't really care about discard spells. That's an interesting draw. Now I'm probably just going to hold up Outbursts. And then, yeah, and then next turn try to peel. Oh, I have land for Plea plus Dispute. When I had COVID, you can't taste the vapes, man. Jeez, that's tough. Kind of don't taste my liquids anymore, but pretty sure it's not Vapor's Tongue. I've been vaping for, what, like 6 years now? It's a while. I started off with like with higher nicks and moved down a little bit since ever since. I assume this is not going to resolve, but. And then hopefully we get to go land, Ardent Play Dispute, or maybe land Teferi Dispute. It might be more important to resolve Teferi. Because that also gets around Flusterstorm. Yeah, I'm going to play Tef. Just going to plus. Because they don't have Delirium, right? Instant land sorcery. Yeah, plus. I don't even know if they're a heat deck. Like, the Snapcaster versions don't usually have heat, right? Yeah, they don't usually have heat. Push, bolt, terminate. So they could, like, bolt, snap, bolt, but. Yeah. No, they don't have Luris. Oh, so they're probably Murktiding, right? If they don't have Luris, they're almost certainly Murktiding, right? How does it work to redeem channel points for a deck tech? So you would redeem the channel point option, post a link in chat, and then I'll take a look at it. We'll go over it on stream. All right, they do indeed have the Murktide. You know, the thing is, I got this Teferi in play. You know, the thing is, Because I got that. Could endurance them. I think it's better to just Garden Plea, hold up Fire Ice. So, I'm not going to cast Fire Ice yet. This does open me up to Bolt, though, I guess. Maybe this is worse than just, like, I don't know, bounce plus pass or something. Yeah, because now they can Bolt Tef, play Murktide, hold up Counterspell for the Dead Gone. So they're going to snap K-Command? Okay. But then they can't Counterspell. Yeah, this is not bad. So Tef dies, but then I still have 2 Rhinos? This is kind of fine. I discard a card. I guess I will discard the Fire Ice. Then keep the Dead Gone for Murktide. Yeah. I think that makes sense. I might main phase the Endurance. That's probably one of the more awkward cards I could draw. I mean, I don't really care if they just cast a... You know what I mean? If they just cast a 4-4. I don't really care about them casting a 4-4, right? So I probably should just pick up Yorion Suspend Footfalls. Which is what I'm going to do. Thoughts, sneeze, interviews, deck tech. We'll take a look right after this match. I'd be more than happy to take a look. Ooh, some Chandra Dress to Kills. Yeah, we'll look at it right after this match. I don't know what your response has been to the metagame videos, by the way, but I look forward to them weekly now. Oh yeah, people have been liking them a lot, Chuck. I'm gonna do them weekly. Probably we might have to wait on next week's because I'm gonna still be in Vegas on Monday, but with Tef, yes, you can. Yep, you are allowed to suspend at instant speed. So it's like if you're in a situation where you want to hold up mana, you can't do that. Yeah. Okay. I accept. So I would assume they're just going to pass. Yeah, they're just going to pass. We'll attack for 8. They're going to pop the explosives. That was a really good draw. Question is, do I want to play her on Counterspell? I think I'm still just going to play Tef. Like, even if they have a Counterspell... Mystical Dispute. Alright, that's fine. They have Murktide, but we have that covered. It's not... We're still in a fine spot. Metagame video after Vegas. Yeah, that's going to be sweet. Mostly because I get to put a giant shot of me holding the trophy. And I get to have the trophy in the background. Fulminator Mage. Good grief. Good grief. I have been fulminatored. Alright, they're shocking as well. I refuse to kill this. It's not happening. So we're going to play the Murktide we know about. I guess they have Spell Pierce or Flusterstorm, so we got to find a land here. Land so we can bounce the Murktide and pay for Pierce or Fluster. Interesting. 2 cards left. It might be better to just play Shardless here. Because if I bounce the Murktide, get Spell Pierced, then I take 8, go to 5, and then the Murktide's lethal. As opposed to play Shardless, get Spell Pierced, trade for Snapcaster Mage, take 6, go to 7. Next turn, even if they have a counterspell for the Dead Gone, I'm still not dead, I can go to 1. Yeah, so I think I like doing it this way. This is better if they have a Spell Pierce. Which they did. Glad I planned around that. And this is on 2. Okay, we might get there. This game is honestly closer than I thought it was going to be. They have 1 card. They're holding back the Snapcaster. Well, obviously we can't really play around a counterspell, so... I think what I might do is... I was thinking just replay it as a 5/5, huh? I guess I could play around Flusterstorm by playing Yorion, but that just doesn't make any sense, right? Because now I can play around Flusterstorm anyways. This is on 1. Okay, so how does this work out? I play Scalding Tarn. Bounce the Murktide. Let's assume their last card's a land. Murktide gets bounced. I attack for 3. They probably chump block and then play a 5/5 Murktide next turn. But then I can go Resolve Rhinos, play Yorion as a chump blocker, or Endurance as a chump blocker. So I think what I'm going to do is play Scalding Tarn to play around Pierce, and then main phase Gone this. See if that resolves. I kind of need it to resolve, but... Well, this is not good now. I needed their last card to not be a counterspell. Because now my fetch is turned off, which means I can't play the Yorion, and now it's bad. Now it's bad. I mean, if they brick and I draw a bounce spell, then maybe we're okay. Or Solitude. But we also need them to brick. Right, they're going to force the trade. I got a 1. Please brick. Alright, Crashing Footfalls. Cast this thing. Alright, we need a bounce spell. We actually lost to the Fulminator Mage. Because I couldn't cast either of these blockers. That's hilarious. Actually lost to the Fulminator Mage. Alright. Actually lost to the Fulminator Mage. Well... It really seems like hot garbage. So I'll keep in 1. Maybe this is too many Dead Gods. Like, I feel like Murktide's the only card that we really give a shit about. Didn't have double green. No, I didn't have double green. I can't cast Endurance, chat. I don't have 2 green. There's the whole thing about the card costing green. Can't actually cast it. Let's go Ketria. I want to give myself the option to bounce like a Chalice or a Mirror or something in case they play one, but they're probably just going to hold up Counterspell. Bet like 99% they're going to... Oh, they have Flusterstorm. Okay, sure. Homie Just Cheat has been called. I mean, I'm jamming. Hope they have Dispute and not Flusterstorm. That still doesn't play around Flusterstorm. But you know what? No, I like this better. Because now I can just jam a Borrower if they don't do anything. I like this better. I'm going to be patient. Because also, if I play Shardless and they just have a Murktide, well, then I have Borrower, right? If they Murktide me, it's not that bad. much do I care about this? I don't think I care about it at all. So that resolves. I'm just gonna play a 3-1, I think. Am I? I could just not play a Borrower and slam Shardless. And then if they Murktide me, I can double bar. Yeah. Which land are they blowing up? They're blowing up the Jeskai Triome. So I have this in my hand, which means this can just get Hallowed Fountain. Yeah, I changed my mind. I'm not going to play a Borrower. Changed my mind. Let's do this. Probably get EE'd, but whatever. It's fine. Even if they have something like EE and Murktide, then I could just Borrower, hold up Dispute. Thought you had a Yavimaya in play, yeah. Yeah, get the Yavimaya memes. Maybe I should put a Yavimaya in my deck. I mean, honestly, with all these fetch lands, it's actually not the worst idea. Because we have so many fetch lands. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's the last flex land we should play. Does that make sense? Is it like crazy to put a Yavimaya in my deck? How crazy is that? On a scale of 1 to completely batshit. You have a lot of fetch lands, right? Just take it? Alright, you may proceed. Doesn't sound that bad, right? Alright. Rhino's dead. This works out perfect because if they tap out, if they play land Murktide, I can dispute to tap them out and then play Outburst. So fetches can produce mana after you fetch with everything? Yes. Yeah, I don't know why they just took 8. I guess they were playing around a second Shardless? It's the only thing I could think of, right? They're at 7? I'm just gonna cast Borrower. Gets around Fulster Storm. I guess it doesn't get around Kolaghan's command, because this thing's an artifact. Alright, whatever. Keep the fetch in play. Combat. Combat. I go to 5. Yep. I don't think you would jam another set of Rhinos into EE. Well, that's why they're holding it up, right? So that they take the 8 damage so that I cannot play Shardless that turn. That's why they took the 8 damage. I don't think it was worth it personally, but why didn't they just let the Borrower resolve and kill the Borrower and the Shardless while I was tapped out? What? That's kind of weird. I'm just gonna discard a Dispute, I guess. Very strange. Discard Dispute and then just cast this while they're tapped out, I think. Yeah. That was a weird situation. It's like now they could have another Explosives, I guess, but yeah, so it's like it's good for the same reason that the Grove of the Burn-Willows was, right? It's like the same theory behind the Grove. But it allows your fetches to actually do something later in the game, because you do have a lot of fetch lands. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try 1. See if it ever comes up. Yeah, maybe that comes up sometimes, but probably not that often, right? They want me to sell my soul. They're blindfolds. 2-0? Let's go. to get more value off your own math. And there's not like thinning is overrated. Thinning is whatever. The sand is closer than you think it is. Because it's already a 6-card hand. I want to keep this hand so bad. I don't want to go to 5. The sand is so juiced. Alright, I'm keeping. Convince myself to keep. I'm going to keep the Omnath in case I draw Solitude. Don't do this at home. They want me to send. This is a risky keep. Let me tell you that. Can Ponza ever beat a pair of 4/4s? Yeah, if they're actually playing Ponza, probably not. But which is maybe a reason to mulligan the sand. Ooh, they're not Ponza. Okay. They've learned their lesson. Easy. Did you ever think I wasn't going to get there? Did you actually think I wasn't going to get there? Human? Oh, they're playing humans? Is this Thalia? Shit. Guess I should have iced. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't ice. I'm a moron. I fucked up. I was supposed to ice. Click too fast. This is not good. Not good. If only I didn't fuck this up. Land up the top for blowout. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think I just let this go. Yeah. And don't fetch to increase the odds of drawing a land. Yeah. I'm just gonna let it go. Because land is so sick here. Is there a better answer to Murktide in red? Dead Gone? Is it crazy to play Dead Gone? How does Dead Gone work with Obosh? Dead Gone is a 4, right? Because it adds up the 2 mana costs. Okay. Bridge is really good in a lot of matchups. I don't know. This feels kind of weird. I guess it is good against Murktide. I don't know. There's got to be something else, right? Dead Gone's interesting, though. That might be something worth considering. It's definitely interesting. Unsettled Mariner. All right, let's respond. But yeah, again, I like pretty much everything else about this list. I should probably get rid of this. Hold on. I like pretty much everything about this list, with the exception of I would play DRC over Relic personally and then move the relics to the board. And I think my sideboard looks like something like... I don't know if you need the additional moons. I guess you could sell me on Bridge, like 2 to 3 Bridge. I think I'd probably play 4 Chalice for Cascade. Probably 4 Pillage, 2 Chandra, 4 Relic. Does that add up? 4 Pillage, 4 Chalice, 4 Relic, that's 12. No. So 3 Pillage, 3 Chalice, 4 Relic, that's 10. 2 Chandra, 3 Bridge. No, 2 Chandra, 2 Bridge, and the Obosh. Yeah, something like that. You can't play Bauble because it's even. Alright, what lands am I getting? As I shamelessly slow roll my opponent. Steam Vents, Hallowed Fountain? No. Temple Gardens, Steam Vents. Is there any way I can get double white while also getting red? No, because I can't get Sacred Foundry off of Misty, so I guess Steam Vents, Hallowed Fountain is fine. But yeah, that's probably what I would do. I got you, Thought Sneeze. But yeah, that was pretty close to the Obosh list that I had built. Very, very close. Yeah, and I'm just, I would at least try. Like, I guess the other question you have to ask yourself is how relevant is Obosh in the Murktide matchup? Because if you're not picking up Obosh that often, it might still be worth just playing Dead Gone as just like, sacrificing the sacrificing the Obosh in that matchup. That's something worth considering as well, It's like, how much does Obosh actually come up in that matchup? So, I guess probably a decent amount, right? The games do probably get pretty long. I think you probably get pretty grindy. I really want to trade. I really want to play games with Chandra, though. That card seems so sick. That card just looks awesome. Just looks so good. What do we got? Champion of the Parish. It's a Mantis Rider. No, you did not hear Chandrinos. Chandrinos. A Thalia's Lieutenant, perhaps? Meddling Mage on Crashing Footfalls. Okay, well, they still don't really have good attacks. And then we can just Omnath them. This has got to be one of those games where we just beat them with Omnath, right? Yeah, they can't really attack here. Trading a 5/5 for a 4/4 does not seem profitable. If I said that we were meant to be... Alright, I can't cast my Crashing Footfall, Sedge. Green, red, white, blue. I can't cast this Omnath card, though. Fury. That's pretty good, too. Question is, do I even want to play a spell here? I could bounce the 5/5 champion. It's probably good to bounce the 5/5, right? Just to keep their board a little clear. I could maybe attack. I could also maybe attack, yeah. Attacking does not sound like that bad of an idea. Alright, so I'll pay the 1 for Sentinel. Bounce the champion, pay for the Mariner, and see where we're at. Solitude, huh? They're at 16. So, the problem is if I attack, I'm kind of in the same, like, awkward position where if I attack with a Rhino, they can block with a 3/3 and a 2/2, so I'm trading a Rhino for a 3/3. Which is, like, could potentially be good. It's 16. Kind of like it. Yeah, their 3/3 also grows because we know they have the champion at the bare minimum, so... I am leaving for Vegas in 2 days, this Wednesday. And then regardless of how big this champion gets, I can just chump it this turn and still have, still force them to make at least 2 blocks on these 3 creatures. Reflector Mage would kind of be a beating. Oh, they have main deck Deputy. That's also really bad for me. Okay. It's not great. Alright, I can't afford the trade Omnath, I don't think. Okay, so now I can plus this, play the Reflecting Pool, and then I think just hold up Solitude here? Yeah, we're still in an okay spot. All things considered, we're probably still miles ahead. Not miles ahead, but we're probably ahead. Husband Stopper, Disruptive Belcher deck. Leyline of Sanctity, counter spells, discard spells, Pithing Needle, those kinds of effects. Definitely not playing Charbelcher in Vegas. If they're smart, they're going to name Solitude. So I probably should cast this in response. I'm just going to kill the big champion, I think. Now they probably name Yorion? If I had to guess. They should name Yorion, I think. Do I feel Blood Fountain will fit in green-black food shell? I do think so. I do think so, Distinction. I think there's something there. We'll probably mess around with food a little bit after Vegas. Another Mariner. Okay, still have no attacks. Not the best place to be in. No cards in hand, no good attacks. And they chose Fury. Interesting. Okay, so plus here. Unfortunately, can't Crashing Footfalls. But now I can just pick up the bird and ship the turn. Here go. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. Draw card. Card has been drawn. Okay. Now I guess they can attack with this champion. I could potentially just double block with these two. Nah, because then they'd lose the Solitude. I'm probably just going to chump block with Shardless, because I don't want to trade the Omnath. And then I could just go Yorion, blink these two. Yeah, kill this. Or I could just, take 4. Yeah, I'll just take 4. It's 4. What's 4 damage at this point? Alright, you get a Vial. I could force it, but then I have to pay the Sentinel tax, and I don't want to do that. Okay, so... Question is, do I want to bounce anything with Tef? Because I also drew a fetch land. This turn could go, pretty well for us. So what I could do is bounce the Meddling Mage that's on Footfalls. And then I could go fetch, crack fetch, cast Yorion, blink Solitude, blink Omnath, kill the big champion. Yeah. I mean, I should have enough mana to do all of that, right? Because I have the mana from the Omnath. Yeah, no, I know that. Because I need 1 from the Tef and 1 for the Solitude when it comes back into play. Oh no, it's 2, because there's 2 Mariners. Right, so I need 4 mana for that. So it's 4 mana for the Mariner tax, plus 5 for the Yorion, that's 9, plus 3 for the Outburst is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only have 11, right? So I can't do that. Well, what if I bounce a Mariner with Tef, pay the 2, play fetch land, crack fetch, play Yorion. Then when the Solitude comes back, I can target the Meddling Mage on Footfalls, and I only have to pay 1, which means I would have 3 left, right? So we go Tef, bounce a Mariner, pay 2, tap 2 lands, so I have 4 lands untapped. Play fetch land, that's 5, plus 9 mana, 5 for the Yorion, 1 for the Solitude tax, because 1 Mariner's gone. That leaves me 3 to cast Outburst. So I think that works. They draw from Sentinel. Yeah, they do. Like, I guess my other alternative is just, like, don't play the Outburst this turn, just plus the Tef, play the Yorion, blink these 3, kill this with Solitude, and then just move on with my life. That's probably just better, right? I can just wait. Yeah, I can just wait on the Tef till next turn. It's probably not that big of a deal. Like, I don't really see myself losing this game. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass. Just let them have their cards. Ooh. Turn off auto yields. Don't want to F6. Because I do have to fetch. But I get to gain 4 more life off the Omnath, which is pretty dope, because the Omnath came back into play. So that's kind of cool. Alright, go. I don't think that was that bad, right? Maybe that wasn't as good as it could have been. I don't know. It's close. But do I need to get, like, absolute maximum value out of every single one of my cards? Probably not. Okay. So now we can go... attack with the Yorion. Cast Outbursts. Pay the tax. Cast Footfalls. They take 5. They go to 7. Plus Tef. I'm gonna hold up. I'm not gonna play more Rhinos in case they draw like an image on Deputy or something. I just hold up my shit. I don't see how I lose this game. Who are these purple dudes? What purple dudes? This card? Unsettled Mariner? It's a pretty good card. Why don't we just loop tap and Yorion forever now? Yeah, we could also do that. But I want to just put more blockers into play first. We can start doing the Tef Yorion stuff next turn. Oh, on Violent Outburst? They're aliens, aren't they? Yeah, they're aliens. And Fire Exalt the Yorion for lethal. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. It's like, I feel like I could lose that game, maybe, if they, like, draw an image and copy Deputy. I mean, probably not, but... They're cutting Force of Negation. I would assume Force of Vigor is probably my best card, right? Well, it's... Force of Negation is literally a stone blank, and Force of Vigor is not necessarily a stone blank, so that's all I got. That's my expert analysis. Images and humans anymore? Well, they play Glasspool Mimic, right? They have to have some kind of clone. I don't think you would play a Thalia's Lieutenant deck without some sort of clone. Endurance isn't a stone blank. I think the way you lose to humans is they just cheese you with a sideboard card, and that's kind of why I want Force of Vigor. I feel like I'd rather just hedge for the games that I'm more likely to lose in, you know? Okay, sounds good. Put back Ardent Plea. Keep all my lands. Yeah, like the 3/4 body is not irrelevant. Alright, which type of anti-Fury card are they going to have? Any chance they have Magus? There's always a chance they have Magus, but I also have 2 answers to it, so... I don't really think I'm going to play around it. See, Force of Vigor's not really that good against Void Mirror. Unsettled Mariner. Okay. So I can probably just Fury those 2 and pay the 2. Just pay the tax. See what we draw. Yeah, so just go... Because that's awkward if they play a Thalia. So maybe I go Fury Pitch Outburst, pay the 2 mana for the Mariner, and then if they have Thalia, then I can go land untapped, fire the Thalia, then the following turn Ardent Plea. You can hardcast it, yeah. Some lovely clouds for Italian guy. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, so let's do that. Let's go Fury Pitch Outburst. Unfortunately, don't get to suspend the Rhinos this turn because I do have to pay, but it's fine. I'll take my 2 for 2. Flavor I'm vaping. I am on mixed berry today. It's okay. It's not bad. Roberto. Do I give them a turn with Bob? Yeah, I think I do. Actually, what if I just went fire plus plea, or fire plus suspend? Is that better? Nah. I guess, maybe it is. Maybe this is loose. Yeah, I don't know. It's really close, right? Blue Raz Kangs. I don't think I've had that one before. I do like Blue Raz. I do like me some Blue Raz. They revealed Dark Slick Shores. Okay. I don't know, Chad, what do you think? Was I supposed to play Fire that turn? Because now they just deputied me and it's kind of awkward. Alright, no deputy. I think it's pretty close. Okay. Let's see what they name. I mean, Fire Ice is not an unreasonable name if they want to protect the Bob. Because that's a card I haven't cast yet. They chose Omnath, also a respectable name. Good thing they didn't name Fire. Alright, thank you for 8. It's a damn good thing they didn't name Fire. I'll tell you that much. So what I could do is I could just pass, and if they play Deputy, I could kill the Deputy with the trigger on the stack with my 2 Fire Ices. Is that 2 5-head? Like, how else am I losing this game? You know what? I like it. I'm just gonna pass. They revealed Unsettled Mariner. Well, they can't play Mariner and Deputy, so... I mean, the thing is, like, this game's not going to last that much longer for them to take advantage of the cards they're getting from Bob. You know what I mean? So, like, you have to realize in situations like this, what are the cards you're losing to? And I think the only card you're losing to from this position is exactly Deputy Detention, and we have it beat, you know? Like, we just have the Deputy beat. This hand sucks, right? Against Gahira. I mean, this hand just sucks in general, so yeah, I'm gonna ship it. I guess I can just put back the Footfalls. Oh, look, I don't love this hand, but I don't want to go to 5. This hand is not really good against Gahira, though, is the issue. I think this is the better Rhino listers for the extra lines that provides. Yeah, it's got a lot more utility. A lot more flexibility. Okay, that's a good draw. Very, very good draw. We need a land. Give me a land, chat. Give me a land, please. Prage. Prage land, please. Give me a land. Land. Prage. Prage, chat. Prage. Land. I guess we get to go. We get one more chance. Get one more chance. Oh, no, not like this. Oh, they don't have a land. Land! Land! Land for the power! Okay. It's not a land, but it's not bad. Because now I can force Ren. Didn't you want change? We're both missing land drops. I'm going to force this Ren faster than you can even count to 3. So you didn't count to 3. Actually, that was dumb. I should have just Furied it. What am I doing? That was horrible. Because now they can just play Tef if they find a land. That was so bad. Yeah, I should just Furied it. Because they didn't have a land. I guess... I don't know. If they, like, slow rolled a fetch land, Furying... It's close, right? Because they could slow roll a fetch land there. So it's, like, maybe less risky to force it, but... Guess I could have also just bounced it. Oh, I could have... Even if they had a fetch, I could have bounced it with the... Yeah, because they would have had to fetch first. It's a good point, yeah. Yeah, it's possible I was supposed to let that resolve. Please give me a land. Please, turn 7. No. Turn 7, by the way. Turn 7, by the way. Yeah, there's only 2 lands in my deck, apparently. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Okay. Please give me a land. Please give me a land. Thank you. Easy. It's gonna play Shardless. This is worse if they have Force, I guess, but I don't know, they still have to 2-4 themselves if they have Force, so it's not that bad. Okay, no Force. Yeah, now the Rhino Parade begins. Teferi, Omnath, Verdict. Okay, I can beat a Verdict. Question is, do I main phase this Outburst? No, they could have second Verdict. Just pass. Now we're going to draw lands the rest of the game. I mean, that's kind of what happens when you get mana screwed early, right? It does get to a point where you do draw more lands on average, because you've already gone through a bunch of spells. Are they a BTL deck? No, they're Kahira. They're probably just like the 4-color control deck. Stimulate it. Alright, so this is probably going to get countered. It's one less counter spell for the Omnath. Did not get countered. Interesting. They have Solitude? Maybe they have Solitude. This. Oh, okay. Now we're cooking with gas. If they don't interact with these, I'm just gonna pass. Okay, alright, your turn. Yeah, it's like 4-color control with Kahira, and they're playing like a whole bunch of Planeswalkers. End of turn Solitude. Okay. Sure. They still could have a counterspell, so they still could have a Verdict, excuse me, so I kind of don't want to play the Violet Outburst now. Yeah, I'm just going to wait. It's kind of close, though. Maybe I'm supposed to play the Outburst there. Okay, Plains, no Omnath. Because they definitely could have a counterspell in their hand, but maybe they had, like, 2 Solitudes, and they wanted to just hold off. I don't want to combat the Outburst because I don't want to get Verdicted. That's why I'm not casting it now. Okay, that's fine. Chew with your mouth closed. So now this gets counterspelled. If I had to guess. We gotta hope they don't have 2 counterspells. Yeah. Alright, white, red, blue, green. Blue. Please no second counterspell. Okay, that's good. That's really good for us. Now we get to Hardcast Fury. We have to get a red source, so I guess I want a second white. Okay, this worked out well. What? Why on earth would they not counter the Omnath? What? That's absurd. It's just... it just makes no sense. What's my record this league? Top right. We're 3-0 right now. That was... Yeah, it makes no sense. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Mind Control on the Omnath? Oh, maybe. Are they going to main phase? Oh, yes. I mean, if their last card is a 3rd counterspell, then good beats. I can't really play around their last card being a 3rd counterspell. If only they countered the Omnath so they wouldn't be forced to main phase the Solitude. Like, I don't... It just makes no sense. Alright, well, pick them up. I probably should not be in this position, but I guess I am. A wonderful love. That was a weird play. Very, very weird play. Okay, sure. So we're gonna tuck the Fury. Yeah. So they have a Kahira. I'm just gonna pick up Yorion and pass, and just end of turn cast the Borrower. It's a Teferi Hero of Dominaria. It's a promo version. Have you thought about running any number of Deafening Clarion in this list? I've been running 3 as Maximum Rag Vinegar and Burn decks. I thought about it. I tried it. I don't remember if we actually tried it at any point, but I did think about it. Just don't think I ever got around to trying it. It definitely sounds interesting. Definitely sounds interesting. So I assume they have a removal spell for this? No. It's a pretty good draw. There's another Fury below that too, right? Because this is third from the top. Yeah, so there's another Fury below this. Good God. Are you when they shut us down? So Borrower dies. We play Fury, kill Teferi. They have a Kahira left over. Yeah, it's also like, it's nice that your Rhinos dodge it. Like, your Rhinos just naturally being 4/4s means that it dodges the 3 damage, which is pretty huge. The life buffer against burn seems nice. It's really good against like you said, Ragavan DRC starts, that kind of stuff, so makes a lot of sense. Oh, are they playing Solitude? Oh, again, you know, maybe they have another counterspell, but sheesh, if they don't have a counterspell. Any Sheeshers? Any Sheeshers? Any Sheeshers? We know they have Kahira. I think I'm just not going to play anything else into the verdict. Like, into a potential verdict. We'll see what happens with this Fury, but... Is that as good for you as it was for me? Yes, it was. I don't know. I guess playing a creature does present lethal. So maybe it's worth playing a creature here. I don't know. It's tough. I'm just going to pass. They got a Shark? Maybe. Shark's not good against Dead Gone, though, so... Is that my last Rhino? It is my last Rhino. Alright, they're gonna go to 1. Alright, they're at 1. Now it might be worth just, like, throwing the Yorion out there. I mean, wait, they have Kahira. But they haven't played Kahira. So they probably just have Verdict, right? They're just willing to go to 1. I'm just gonna pass. Because they haven't been playing Kahira, right? ESP Ninja Bandit gifting a sub to Low Quince TV. Thank you very, very much for the gifted sub. Appreciate you, buddy. Alright, I guess they just had nothing. That game was very strangely played from our opponents. That turn that they let the Omnath resolve and then countered the Fury was so weird. Like, I don't know what their plan was there. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to say that their play was 100% incorrect. I just don't understand what your hand could be where you would want to let the Omnath resolve and counter the payoff after it, you know? It's weird. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, I can't think of anything, you know? Yeah, I drew the fetch line off of the Omnath. I mean, maybe I'm just looking too much into it. Maybe they misclicked. I don't know. I'm gonna cut Dead Gone because that card is stinky. I'm gonna bring in Disputes, and I kind of want to try bringing in a bunch of Endurances just to like get a feel to see how good it is in this matchup, because I think it could be good. Just like additional flash threats and that kind of stuff. I don't actually know what's bad. Like 2 of these, maybe cut another Fire Ace for 3 of them. Fire Ace is not as good on the draw. Let's try this. The nice thing about Endurance is if the games go super duper long, you can shuffle your Rhinos back in. And I could definitely see that coming up. Especially if we're going to play like this, 15 turn game or whatever. This hand's dope. What it used to be. How does Dead Gone compare to Bone Crusher? 1 mana versus 2 is huge. Especially, like, the whole point of playing Dead Gone is that it's a way to interact with Ragavan on the draw. Whereas Bone Crusher Giant does not do that. That's the big difference. So that's why I'm choosing to play Dead God over Bone Crusher. I understand that it's a less versatile card, and it, like, it doesn't have as much utility, but CB, Care Bear. I have another phone call today. Care Bear, thank you for the 17 months, buddy. Chat, did you know your vehicle's extended warranty is out of... I can't do the bit. I can't do the bit. Am I bouncing this thing? I can't always bounce it after they crack a fetch. Because if I bounce it and they just go Shockland Tef, it's pretty bad, so... Go. Yeah, we've been trying to contact you. Oh, man. Chalice of the Void on 0. Well, I have a Borrower, so that's okay. You can EOT Borrower that. Alright, plus on nothing. I guess they could counter the Borrower. What if I waited a turn? And then go EOT, bounce Chalice... Because I can still dispute a counterspell. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait 1 turn. Yeah, I'm going to wait a turn. I think I like this. Yeah, so do this, pass. EOT, bounce Chalice, they counterspell, I dispute, yada yada. Because they don't have a fetch land. Unless they draw one, obviously. Yeah, see, they don't have access to enough blue mana to be able to win this fight. I guess they could have Flusterstorm, but that one kind of gets me no matter what, right? Not much I can do about that. Your 4-color Rhino deck qualifies for an extended warranty. I did not know that. Thank you for telling me that. Tonight I will sleep tonight. Got him. Got him! It's actually not a bad draw either. I cannot be content. Did show him what's left. We even have Omnath covered if they draw that. Dude, why is it that every time that I... Chat really wants to see the Mana Tithe. Chat really wants to see the Mana Tithe. I mean, honestly, Play Chow, with how much this deck costs, Also, I don't have 2 green. That's kind of bad. I should have got Breeding Pool. I'm a moron. What's this? Omnath. Trigger on the stack. So we kill the Omnath, kill the Wren, everything is Gucci. Pick up Yorion, yada yada. Oh, they have Prismatic Ending? Alright, alright, alright. I'll take a land. Land to kill the Wren and 6 would be dope. I still have this too, so... Left for dead, show 'em what's left. It's not bad either. Attack Wren for 5. I think I'm just gonna go Tef plus. Yeah, Tef plus pass, I think. Sleep tonight. How playable would the pitch elementals be if you added 2 mana for the hard casting cost to each of them? 7 mana? They'd be pretty bad, right? At 7 mana, they'd be pretty bad. Alright, we need to find a land so I can kill all of their shit. I need a land, chat. I need a land. I need a land. Do they have another ending? Seems like they might have another ending. Okay, that's fine. Give me a land. Land me. Land me, dealer. Shit. Oh, I can pitch the Outburst, though, so it's not that bad. So I can go Fury, pitch Outburst, kill Tef, kill Wren, hold up Borrower. Yeah, okay. Could get greedy and try and minus for a land. Yeah, I could just, like, bounce nothing. Or bounce the plea, maybe. Bounce Chalice? Well, I guess if I bounce Chalice and draw a red card, I can go Fury, pitch that red card, kill Tef, kill Wren, and then play the Outburst. Right, but what chat's saying is if I bounce Chalice and draw a red card, I can then Fury, pitch the red card I draw, kill the Tef, kill the Wren, and then hold up Outburst. Right? So that's like the high upside play, is bouncing the Chalice. Because if I bounce Plea, even if I draw a red card, I still have the Chalice is still in play, right? I kind of want to bounce the Chalice. I think it's high upside. Well, no, because it's a lot better if I draw a land. Because I just don't want to pitch the Outburst. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot better if I draw a land to just hardcast the Fury. So it's more so just trying to find a land than anything else, you know? Like, this is still fine for us. Sure. And the nice thing about all of this, Tef's on 2, and they don't play Fury, so they can't rend this, which is really nice. Okay, that's good for them because they can deal 1 to Tef, or they can just kill Tef, yeah, or they can kill the Fury and deal 1 to Tef. They're just gonna kill Tef. Okay, I wasn't sure if they were going to kill the Fury and deal 1 to Tef there. So now I can attack for 8, pick up Yorion, or attack for 8 and then just hold up Borrower and Endurance. The problem with that is they have the Kahira, but I guess I can't block if they play Kahira pre-combat anyways. So I just take 8 in that case. Heard of the band Satyr? I haven't heard of Satyr yet. Yeah, they don't play Fury, by the way. I think I'm just going to attack for 8, and then just hold up Endurance Borrower. Ardent Play making this not a trade is so sick. It's so good. Because I think they're going to have to counter one of these two creatures. Then we can maybe just set up a Yorion turn. We'll see what happens. Ours is bigger. Well, not when they play Kahira, because they have Kahira in their hand. Yeah, that makes this a little awkward, because now I just have to take 8. Yeah, 8's fine. And they have 2 cards. I guess I'm going to cast the Borrower first, because they don't know about the Endurance. Okay. How about a Borrower? Or how about an Endurance, excuse me. Losing control. They may or may not counter this. Ooh, song request time. Picayune Satyr. Picayune? Taking over. Alright, Satyr in the queue. Bang, let's go. General Mongoose. I feel like I have heard this song before. It's kind of a jammer. When I bounced challenge with Borrower, it was on an adventure. I couldn't cast Petty Theft. That's what I was thinking too, because if they block Fury, I can just cast Outburst to trade. It's kind of sketchy if they counter the Outburst, but I think I kind of have to, right? Yeah. I don't think I can afford to play around much. I mean, I feel like if they had a counterspell, they might have just countered one of these. I think maybe the safe play was just send the Fury, but... This is a fucking beating if they counter this, though. I thought they would counter something else, but... They got me good, I guess. Thought they would have countered one of the other creatures. Does not have to go to 2. Also just dead if they have a removal spell. Tough. They just need a Fury. Well, yeah, if they had a counterspell, obviously, yeah, that's bad if they have a counterspell. If they don't have a counterspell, it's insane for us, because we just trade, and... Like, I think what I maybe should have done is just attack with the Fury, because then I also... Like, I still can't beat a removal spell at that point, but... Yeah, I think what I should have done was only attack with Fury. I took the graveyard and not your own. Red and 6. They also showed me Unholy Heat game 1. Why did their Fury just not die when it blocked yours? Because theirs was bigger. Good 4 in the air plus block Outburst trade. Yeah, that was another line too. Maybe just send the bar relief back 2 blockers. That was probably a better line too. Basically anything that, like, I took the line that loses straight up to a counterspell, and yeah, that was just bad. I should have taken a different line. I should have maybe just attack with Borrower and leave back 2 blockers. Now, granted, maybe I still lose because they iteration into Tef, and maybe things get out of control from there, but would have at least given myself a better chance, you know? This hand's pretty cracked. Let's go Temple Garden Steam Vents. One of the Force of Figures, because their only target is Chalice. And you can just beat them without casting Rhinos. It's not that difficult. But they've shown me nothing else for Force of Vigor besides Chalice. not gonna fetch because I kind of want to find lands. Okay. Dispute? You show me the dispute. I'm gonna go Steam Vents Island, I think. Yeah, Steam Vents Island. Show me that dispute. Force of negation. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna have a force battle. I'm okay with that. This thing's on 2. Ooh, no Tiff. Okay, I like this. Good. I'm gonna pass. I'm not gonna ice upkeep because I want to hold up hard cast force for Chalice or Tiff. Some Do Not Resuscitate. This song is a banger. I like this song. I've been jamming to it. It's really good. I think if they go to counter the footfalls, I might not fight. No, I probably will. Put on the stack, see what they do. It's probably worth fighting over, right? I think it's worth fighting over. So you've taken off the Tron land hate in your sideboard for the chorus. How's the Tron matchup now? I don't know. There just hasn't been as much Tron around lately, so that's why I've kind of cut down a lot on my Tron hate. But it's certainly worse than it was before. I will agree with that. It's certainly worse than it was before. Okay. I am going to Vegas, yes. How do you get the all access? In the store. So if you go into the Magic Online store, there's this little rare event token. If you purchase that, and then it's added to your collection, restart Magic Online, and then you'll have access to all the cards. Like milk to farmers. Like milk to farmers, huh? It's not what the band's called. So they don't have Solitude. They presumably don't have Teferi. I don't know what's in their hand, but the token lasts, I think, for 2 weeks. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's about 2 weeks. God, I love these guys so much. December 1st. Okay, so yeah, about 2 weeks. Supreme Verdict. Supreme Verdict resolves. You know what I could do? Now I could ice them and try to resolve Omnath. It's pretty bad if they have Dispute, but... Is that better than playing Borrower? I think it is. Because I could also have the upside of drawing a fetch land. Yeah, I think it's I think this is higher upside. Yeah, let's do it this way. Am I a basketball fan? I don't watch a ton of basketball. I watch some, but like, this play is pretty bad if they have Dispute. All right, no Dispute. That's good. 3 pair, by the way. 3 pair, by the way. 2 weeks. Basketball. Basketball. I mean, screw beats flood, right? Was this the same match where in game 1 I didn't play my 3rd land until turn 8? Was this that same game? I think it was, right? Okay, well, now this is bad, because now they bounce Omnath and counter it. Now we are not in a good spot. That doesn't matter at all. The Tef matters, but the Chalice does not. Cast this card. Get it countered. Yeah. I get it. Your turn. I'm gonna keep the fetch land in play for the other Omnaths. And they'll run out of counter spells eventually, right? Copium? Yeah, this would have worked out a lot better if I just played Borrower that turn. This would have been so much better if I played Borrower. I messed up. Ooh, that resolved. That's good news. Very good news. Alright, I'm gonna cast the Borrower now, I think. Yeah, I can just go play Borrower, pick up Kahira. Oh, I can oh, shit, I can kill their Teferi. Oh. Alright, crack a fetch. See what they do. Okay, so let's go... How much mana do I have? I have 6 mana. Yeah, so... To the Hellfire Lorna Shore. Let's take a look. Let's think about what to do while I put that in the queue. To the Hellfire. Got a lot of song requests tonight. Keep them coming, keep them coming. We need blue. Yeah, so... Well, what is my plan? Is my plan just, like... Petty Theft plus Shardless? Probably, right? Let's just get this, because I know I'm going to get at least the Breeding Pool. And then I'm going to crack this fetch and see what they do. They might have Solitude. Okay, no Solitude. So, now that we know Teferi is dying... Yeah, I guess probably just bounce Chalice, play Shardless, right? And then if they Verdict, I still have an Omnath and all this shit left over. So if I'm doing that, I can just get Triome. Because I only need 5 mana. Yeah, so now we go Petty Theft, Chalice... and then play Shardless. If they have a counterspell for the Petty Theft, then I'll just pick up Yorion, but... Yeah, I like this. I like this line. This line's Gucci. Yeah, that turn was, pretty good. Pretty good. Is that a good turn, or... I mean, I have to imagine they have a Verdict in their hand, but... I don't even think it's that bad. Yeah, drawing the other fetch was fucking humongous. I forgot that we were going to be able to kill the Tef because we already had the fetch in play. So, everybody keeps asking me about, should be, like, is the 4th color worth it in YoRhinos? I don't know, what do you think? What do you think? That resolves. This is a Rat Jammer. Supreme Verdict also resolves. Omnath, trigger on the stack. Let's go... Huh, what am I pitching? I guess I just pitch Omnath, right? Kinda sucks if they counter this and then have a removal spell, but... I guess this could also be bait, because they still have Verdict mana, potentially. Maybe that was bad. Maybe I should just let them have the mana. Like, what's the scariest thing they could do with the mana, right? Yeah, maybe that was dumb. Okay. So, bounce a Rhino, still 10. Alright, well, they're at 10. I'm going to attack you for 10. Because that's how that works. That's Solitude. Okay. Solitude, Exile, Prismatic Ending. Alright, Omnath dead. So they go to... I guess maybe I should have played around that and, like, attack Teferi with something. They have one card, though. I'm just gonna cast this Borrower and pick up Yorion, I think. Got a main phase the Borrower. A little unfortunate, but... Go. I think it's close. I don't know. It's possible I'm supposed to send something at Teferi there, but... Do I think the 80 version is better than the 61 Omnath plus Cascade? I do, because I think you get a lot more tools against the fair matchups. Why did I pitch Omnath? Well, I wanted to keep the Solitude in case they had a second Omnath, but... maybe I just didn't need to. They usually only play 2 verdicts, though, so maybe they don't find their second verdicts. Alright. My opponent did not find their verdicts. Easy. I'll keep. Intercontinental. I probably jinxed myself by playing this song. I will say. I probably jinxed myself by playing this song. So I apologize to the believers. Oh, this is just control. This isn't 4-color. This is just blue-white. Probably a little bit better for me. Although I don't have an answer to death. They don't have no award for that. Trophies. 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 Not great. Maybe they'll be afraid of Counterspell. They don't think that I'm playing Rhinos. You know, I mean, you wouldn't expect your opponent to always be on Yorion. I mean, granted, my username is, you know... I get it. I know that I only play Rhinos, so... Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it. Rip. Rip. With that minus. Yeah, maybe I wasn't supposed to fetch there. I probably was not supposed to fetch there. I mean, I guess I get to play my own Tef. It's not that bad. I'm probably going to minus mine because of Prismatic Ending. They have Force too? Jesus. It's not great. Not great if they have Force. This resolving is like my only chance. Okay. Not great. Again, maybe the minus. Quick change the song, yeah. See, that's what I get for playing the song. I told you I jinxed myself when I played the song. Aw, you shouldn't have. Come on, buddy. That's way too nice of you. That's way too generous of you. With the $25 donation. That is very, very, very generous of you. I really, really appreciate that. I will have a drink in your honor. Thank you for the very generous donation. That is way too kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They plus their Tef. Shenanigans. Hey, Farvo, what's the name of that restaurant you like with all the kooky shit? This is just awful, isn't it? I guess I can hardcast Fury next turn. Alright. Cool. Makes so nervous. I'm not going to expose more green sources. And I have a million lands, so I'll just discard all lands. Oh, you know what? No, that was terrible. Because, yeah, because now if I draw Omnath, I can't play it and fetch. I should have put a green source into play there. That was so bad. Andy2914, thank you for the 2 months. Really appreciate that. Let's grab dinner Sunday. I don't know what plans I have. I don't really have plans right now. I'm gonna just get there and just do whatever the fuck people do in Vegas. I don't know. I have no plans. Zero plans whatsoever. Other than play the event on Friday and Saturday, obviously, but... And by play, I mean win. That's just, you know... That's pretty obvious, but... What's this? You're just gonna cast a Solitude? That actually kind of works out well for me, because now I can go 2-2. Are we, like, actually in this game? Like, in some weird way? There's no way, right? There's no way I'm actually in this game. They let you decide. Maybe. After you win, I can take all your money in the poker room. Dude, I don't play poker. I play blackjack. Snuggles is going to teach me how to play craps. I've never played craps in my life. And I know you're probably going to hate it, but I'm probably going to play some slots. It's just what I do. It's just what I do. No Solitude. Okay. Have some Solitude battles. I got another one. They have a Spreading Seas in their hand. I should tap white mana for that. What a strange game of Magic that we were playing, huh? Like, what is happening right now? I'm gonna leave the fetch and play for Omnath. I mean, honestly, if I draw an Omnath, I probably just win. Because I just kill their Death. Slots are great for free drinks. Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna play blackjack in Vegas. Go to a place called the Orleans. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Do they have another Solitude? This game is awesome. This is hilarious, dude. They're just like Solituding each other main phase back and forth, full retail. This is so weird. Now I could bounce, but I don't want to. Alright, let's just keep doing the same thing, I guess. I guess we'll just keep doing the same thing. Plus, I am ahead in the Teferi race, if that matters. I don't think it does, but... What a fucking weird game. I guess I'm ahead on mana. On F6. Holy crap. I can actually win this game now. That is so good for me. Oh my god, that's so good for me. I guess I'm gonna pitch the Ardent Play, right? I have to counter it, obviously. Maybe I should pitch the Yorion. That's close. That's really close. It's possible I should have pitched the Yorion there. Yeah, I think I should have pitched Yorion. That's fine. Alright, Omnath. Omnath. Alright, I'm just gonna draw a card. Ooh, that plays. That definitely plays. I'm just gonna pass. If they fire up the Hall, I can actually just go to Solitude and pay. Because this thing's 6 to activate, right? Yeah. I can't imagine they're doing that. No! No. Come on. Get out of here. I'm not going to cast the Solitude, though, I don't think. I'm just going to go one threat at a time. Yeah, one threat at a time. If I play Solitude and they have Verdict, it's so bad for me. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't want to play the Solitude, because they almost certainly have Verdict in their hand. Yeah, they untapped land. Yeah, they definitely have Verdicts. So they're just going to plus and then Verdicts. Okay. Omnath. Come on, Omnath. Omnath me. Omnath me. I guess I can play the Yorion and blink the Tiff. How many Solitudes have they gone through? They only have one Solitude left. Problem is they can haul me now. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Not much I can do about that. Not much I can do about that. Because I can chump block with Yorion. No, because they just bounce. Yeah, they just bounce the Yorion and then haul the F. And then I'm just super fucked. I guess I could then draw Fury, right? Yeah, this is game one. Alright, like this. It's not good. Not good. You can trace the lines to connect the dots. How do you like the new EP? Dude, it's so good. Oh, I fucking love it, Vinny. It's so good. So I assume they just bounce it and then fire up the hall, right? I feel like that's what they should do. Yeah. I mean, Omnath still maybe kind of plays because they have to tap out. It has to be this turn. It literally has to be this exact turn. If I don't draw Omnath right now, I don't think I have any outs. It's not an Omnath. Feels bad, man. New Mastodon? No, I haven't listened to New Mastodon yet. Mastodon's okay. Not like the same as the stuff I usually listen to, but they're okay. Not bad. Alright, can I concede now? I guess maybe I draw Omnath and they don't have a counterspell. Alright, now I'm off it. Now I am off it. Alright. Matchup gets a lot better after sideboard. Oh, actually. No. We get to keep the forces, yeah. I actually have to keep a Solitude. Alright, let's go. I like Fury more than Solitude because they have so many Planeswalkers. Ooh, a little back-to-back? A little back-to-back. This is my favorite LMTF song. I heard this song live and it literally changed my life. It's just... Oh my god, they're such a good act live. Sing me a sad song. Yeah, they're awesome. They're so good. I saw them live with... I forget who the opening act was. It was opening act, them, and then The Plot in You. It's a really good show. I think the opening act was like just a local band, but I've seen like Milk to Farmer 6 times. Such hits as I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Like milk to farmers. Any milk memes? Blood Moon by Make Them Suffer. I do like Make Them Suffer. That is a good. They are those guys are good. Do I think it's something has to be banned? No. What? No. No, 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 no. Modern is fine. The only thing I think that maybe could happen, just to freshen things up a little bit, is just delete companions from existence. All of them. I don't think any one particular companion is a problem. I think the deck building philosophy where every person feels like obligated to put a companion into their deck, that's a problem. But, like, you know, as far as gameplay with each specific companion, you know, it is what it is. But it's just like, can we just like delete them from existence? Because I don't think anybody would be that unhappy. I can't cast Endurance. Maybe I should avoid this hand. I should look at this hand. I'll draw Green Source. It's fine. Can we keep Blue Tree? No. They're all God Honor. Just delete the whole file. I think Omnath should go. I think Omnath would be fine without companions. Am I getting bored of companions? Yeah, a little bit. I think, again, the shittiest thing about companions is it, like, kind of forces people to build their decks. Like, it's almost like you feel like you can't compete unless you're playing a companion. And that shit sucks, you know? That is just not a good place to be. I'm gonna debate them, make them think I have a Fire Ice. I don't think the 2 damage matters. They still didn't play around it. I'll go my own way. Of course, now I draw the Fire Ice. Would have been nice to have that last turn. Sure would have been nice to have that last turn. Well, that just happened? That's pretty good for me. Did not expect that to just happen. Really want them to explore the companion space more, just really like the play patterns generated by them. Yeah, but again, you just like, you get into the spot otter where just Modern is just like, we're just playing Commander, you know? I don't think that's a world you want to live in. It's just not good. I don't even know if I should be attacking here, but I assume they would block. I don't think there's ever a world where they would just take. Could have attacked with this too, but unless you're playing Tron, then you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Even Tron plays a fucking companion. Every deck does. Literally every deck. When do I leave for Vegas? I leave Wednesday at 3:30 my time. That's when my flight leaves, so. Except Reanimator. Even Reanimator. Some of those lists are trying to play Yorion. Just to compete again, you know? Morrow said that the thing he doesn't like about Eternal formats is they are where other design mistakes get played. Yeah. Because a lot of times, like, when you, like, mistakes, and that's the thing, right? Like, mistakes are a lot more likely to be noticed when the card pool is bigger, you know? That's the issue, right? I guess I'll target myself because I have a Footfalls. They don't play Snapcaster Mage. Blue-Red Murktide. Yeah, that's like the one deck, I guess, but they bounce the Shardless. They have Solitude. Okay, Tech Tough. Show me the Solitude. No Solitude, huh? Okay, so we can go untap land, Shardless Agent, ice their land, make them have another white source. And then even if they have Verdict, my follow-up is still play Hold Up Endurance, which is still pretty fucking good. Like, your follow-up to Wrath is make 2 4/4s, hold up Endurance. That's pretty good, you know? Like, I understand I'm gonna get Wrathed, but it's okay. It's a 2 for 1. It's not that big of a deal. It's a pretty good draw, too. To make the best of your forgiveness. Now I can shuffle my Rhino back in again. Yada yada. Just gonna keep shuffling in the Rhinos. I'll be glad to see Lurrus go. I mean, it's one of those things where I think if you want to get rid of companions, you kind of have to get rid of all of them. You can't just do, like, one, you know? You kind of have to get rid of all of them. Not bad. Thank you for 7. So if they take this, they go to 12. Alright, I'm just going to pick up Yorion. Let's go 1, 2, 2, 3, right? Green, red, yeah, okay. I'm going to hold up Borrower and Outburst. I'll just EOT the Outburst. You ban Lyra, Smarter becomes 0 in Battle Style format. Yeah, exactly. But then, like, you could even say the same thing, right? If you ban Lurrus and Yorion, then, like, what's the next thing? Giganta, or this, or that. You know what I mean? It's like, I think no matter what you do, if companions are a thing where if you ban one, you just have to get rid of all of them. It's not like a one and done kind of thing. They have 3 cards. They're at 9. Alright, guess this thing. They have to have a counterspell. How important are the 3 and 4th Shark Typhoons in blue-white? I feel like if I was playing blue-white, I'd probably want to play 3. I don't know, like, a ton about blue-white, but 3, I think, is probably where I would want to be, personally. If they take this, I'm just going to hold a Borrower. I wish I could bounce my own plea, but... Stay your time. Nothing? I'm gonna see you cry. Oh, they don't try. So they have Solid Dude. Solid Dude. Alright, combat. I could only attack with Borrower, but that still doesn't play around Solitude, because they just killed the Borrower, so... Makes no sense. So they Solid Dude this chump block here. They're still pretty fucked. So they're gonna go down to 2. I think I'm not gonna play anything. I guess I could commit one more creature to the board. I don't know if there's a reason to. Is there even a reason to play another creature? Solitude, this, block there. Did I track a YoRhinos? Yeah, I 5-0'd with a Gigi. I think I'm gonna cast this. I don't even know if this is right, but... This feels kind of bad. I don't know if this is right. I want to cast it to try and find an instant speed threat. I'm actually gonna... Well, no, I'm gonna play the land. Yeah. I'm not gonna play anything else though. Right, like, so if they verdict it, I still get to replace itself. It's not that bad. Yada yada. But and like, even if they verdict my follow up, it's just, you know, more shit. So. Do I think this YoRhinos list is the best Rhinos list? I do, Leo. I do think it is the best Rhinos list. Do I have any long-standing theories, ideas you use for crafting your sideboard? Like, do you focus on the top goldfish decks and go from there? Smithluck, it really depends. Like, you kind of have to play a lot of game ones with your deck against a bunch of different archetypes to figure out where your strengths and weaknesses are. You know, I don't necessarily go on like what are the most played decks, because if I have a good matchup against, the 3 or 4 most played decks, then I'm not going to sideboard for those decks if my matchup is already like, if I believe my matchup to already be good. So it really depends on like focusing on your weak points. That's the most important part. Companion rule was reverted, but the start of every match your opponent was forced to kick in the It's an idea. That's definitely an idea. All right, game 3. Let's go. Game 3 for the trophy. All right, chat. I need you to believe. I need you to believe. Sand's a little sus. It's a little sus because I actually can't cast a fairy. I'm still keeping it, but... A stupid Grove of the Burn Willows. Would this Grove of the Burn Willows be better or worse as a Yavimaya? Be about the same, right? Would not be any different at all. Because I've been thinking about that. Gigi, what do you think about playing a Yavimaya in this specific deck list because of how many fetch lands we have? Like, this deck has 18 fetch lands. I thought about playing the Yavimaya over the Grove, because it still suspends Rhinos on turn 1, which is, like, the point of having that land slot in your deck, but... That's not bad. So this gets Hallowed Fountain. We can ice them. Thoughts on Bluetron? Bluetron is Bluetron. How's the Jund matchup? You're talking about Jund Saga? I think the Jund Saga matchup is quite good. I definitely do not mind playing against Jund Saga. I just answered. Potential to make opponents' prismatic endings better. I mean, most of the time they're casting ending on a Rhino anyways, right? So how often does that matter? I don't know how often that comes up. But yeah, you're right. Because it like makes it more likely they can kill Omnath or Teferi with it, so maybe it's kind of sketchy. Four-color Ephemerate. Close matchup, but I think you're ahead. The reason I think you're ahead in the Ephemerate matchup is because you can actually present a pretty quick lock against them, whereas like their deck doesn't really have the ability to play, like, you can kind of dictate the pace of the game. So that's why I think those matchups are like not that bad. Alright, it would be nice to cast these to fairies, but I can't do that currently. Now I can. I'm sure I already have a breeding pool, so they can fetch and have extra. Yeah, that's fair. Like, our opponent does have a breeding pool. Jam to F? Absolutely not. You have 3 cards. This thing's on 1, right? Okay. Question is, do I want to minus? I think minusing is pretty good if they have Prismatic Ending. They haven't shown us Fire Ice yet. Some lists do play Fire Ice, but I think I'm going to minus. I want to get my card. Okay. Interesting. Oh, nothing. I like nothing. Nothing is really good for us. So that happens. They have a castle, which, like, it's not bad. You can hold up Endurance, though. This turn's probably just going to be hold up Endurance, hard casts, and then, or, no, I might just Solitude. Well, no, because then they can colonnade me. We'll see what we draw. I drew an Ardent Plate. I'm not going to cast that into Verdicts. Yeah, I'm just going to hold up Endurance or Solitude here, and then depending on what they do, because if they go for Colonnade, then I can just Solitude it, yada yada. I have this deck built in paper, and if so, how much practice within paper? I do have this deck built in paper. I played it at FNM for the past couple of weeks, but outside of FNM, haven't really had the opportunity to play it. Any reason to not play against people in chat who also go to Vegas? I don't know, I just play leagues, I don't know. Like, no particular reason, I guess. I didn't think about that. Deck. Need to get a better feel of my matchup against you. Like from the zoo side? Are you playing Tarmogoyfs or no? I think if you're playing Tarmogoyfs, you might be, like, a little bit favored. But I think it all comes down to whether or not you're playing Tarmogoyf. Interesting. They have 2 cards left. I want to play a creature so that I can still threaten to kill their Tef if they have Prismatic Ending on the other Rhino after they bounce one. I think I'm supposed to play Solitude just to be mana efficient. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to play Solitude here. Good matchup versus Tron. I think the Tron matchup is close. I mean, obviously we don't have a ton of specific dedicated hate towards Tron, but I just like that Solitude frees up my mana for next turn. Like, if I draw a land, now I can double spell, or I could, you know what I mean? Like, I could pick up Yorion, hold up Endurance, or, like, it's a lot better to do it this way if I find a land, I think. Cut Goyfs for paths and move Beacalms into the board. Okay. Yeah, Helix is not very good, I agree. Okay, so their Tef is dead. So now if they go for the Colonnade, I can just chump block with Endurance. Okay, and they're at 18. So let's go attack Tef, attack you. I think I'm just not going to deploy anything. I'm just going to go super slow here. I'm going to go land, pick up Yorion, hold up Endurance. I guess I'll hold up... I don't know. This? Sure. Go. Because now I'm, like, inviting them to colonnade the Teferi. Prismatic Ending is fine. Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing about the Tron matchup, right? Is, like, sometimes you just, like, do your thing. Like, you just jam a Cascade spell. Force of Negation is the most important card. How you beat Tron is, like, turn 3 Cascade spell, hold up Force. So they're at 14. I think what I want to do is attack, play Ardent Plate, hold up Endurance. Again, I'm still inviting the Colonnade attack. That's why I don't want to cast the Endurance there. I think that makes sense to me. Maybe a little bit worse if they have Verdict, but still have enough stuff left over. Plus, I just have, like, Yorion Fury. I can, like, Tef pick up the Ardent Plate. I'm not really worried about having enough threats after a Verdict. That's the least of my concerns. I could also hold the land for Omnath. There's not a ton of reason to play it, right? Unless I get to 8 mana and want to play Endurance plus Fury or something. I'm just going to hold the land. It's a lot better if I draw Omnath. Oh, you know what? No, this is bad. I needed to play the land so that if they go for the colonnade, I can endurance block without giving them a life. Because now I have to give them a life off of the grove. Yeah, I should have played the land. This is bad. Because now they go to 12 and I attack for 11. So yeah, I should have played that land. They're playing is very funny. You're aware that he has 4 arms and they're all different colors. I don't know what you're referring to. Oh, you're talking about Lotus Cobra? To free. To Twitter we go. Well, we got back-to-back trophies, so we're doing something right.